Hello and welcome to an underpowered production. This is the Backlog Battler. I am Shelby Stokes, your host today, flying solo, all alone. I know, I'm feeling the missing of a co-host as well, but it's okay. There will be more to come. We have a stellar show tonight. We got some good things going on with Eric and Pokemon tomorrow, but tonight is tonight. Here we are, the March of 2023. And ladies and gentlemen, I am going to do a toast. I'm going to pour one out as we all have to say goodbye to our beloved E3. That's right. The news came out today that E3 is officially over, canceled. Fiend, they are officially canceling the show, and boy, what a heartbreaker it is. You know, it's like, why do I have such affinity for the E3 show? I ask myself. Here's the answer. I grew up on that stuff. Like, I want that to be forever and for always. I want to remember it and be like, oh, E3, I love you so much. Just yesterday, Enrique in the chat, what's up? Cheers with the Pokemans. Having a little daddy soda. Hope you are too. It is in season tonight. But let me tell you what, it is just interesting to see E3 come and go. And it is such a tragedy. It truly is. Megan is in the chat as well. What up, Maggie? Megs. Mega Maleficent, Mega Mighty 90 is what she's going by now. Appreciate you guys being with us. What's going on tonight? We have a handful of things that we're going to do. Let me give you a little bit of run of show. Let me tell you how things are going to happen tonight. We're going to start off. We're going to say our hellos. We're doing that. We're going to get into some Harry Potter, show you some gameplay clips that I've taken. I've finished Harry Potter. I've put the wand in the holster. It is all done for me. I've hit credits. So thoughts on that. I've also been playing some other games. But the big news today is we are going to be giving away a giveaway. Giveaway? We're going to giveaway. We're going to away some gifts in a giving fashion. That's what we're going to do. So if you're here, you're in the chat, you're communicating, you're part of the team, then you could win that at the end of the episode. This may be short and sweet because it's just me solo. So we might just be a quick little episode in and out. But I mean, you know what? We're here to party for sure. So without any further ado, we're also going to rank the Harry Potter movies. I don't really know if I want to rank the movies or the books. I feel like I know the books better than the movies, but I think I'm just gonna rank the books. But it's gonna look like we'll talk about it more in a minute. Whatever. If you're a Harry Potter fan, stick around. We're gonna play Guess the Game and a couple of other things as well. So thank you for being with us. Thanks for sharing this time in whatever capacity that is. And yeah, let's get started with some good things. We've been playing some games, and it's only taken me an hour of my life every day.
It's 11 p.m. Should I play games or should I go to bed?
We all know the answer to that. It is always play games, always and forever. Playing games is what we do here on this channel, and that is exactly what I encourage you to do. So, as previously mentioned, let's hop over and talk about a few gameplay clips. The game that we're talking about right now is a game called Hogwarts Legacy, and this game I am in love with. I have told people to play this game. I've shouted it from the mountaintops. This game is amazing for many reasons. And I think that the main reason I'm so in love with this title is that it builds out the world so perfectly. Yes, books is the correct choice, Enrique. Agreed, Eric. Like, always the books. Like, movies, flash in the pan. This game feels lived in like many games that I've played. Every once in a while, a huge game comes along that is absolutely like takes over my life. This was one of those. Now, I had to travel a little bit here and there, and that made it a little bit difficult to really dig in the way that I like. But here's what I love about this game is it's like building the characters in every aspect of what's going on in the world. So here you go. What you're going to see here is I've just fast traveled to a new place, and I'm about ready to start a new mission. Watch what happens. Fly up, coming out of my fast travel.
I can do this. They will want to help.
characters having dialogue like by
Is this where
herself.
we're meeting the
Then
Sentinels?
you click
Well, they
into
don't.
the character dialogue and the quest begins to unfold. You start talking about the different things. I pause real quick to make sure, hey, like I'm getting this recorded. But essentially, what happens then is you are launched into the conversation, which has to do with the mission and the inner workings of the two characters. The reason this is notable for me is before you even launch this conversation, you have essentially started building these characters and the state in which they're in. And this happens over and over within this game. There's another sequence that I almost pulled where you have two of the main characters that are talking amongst one another and they're debating on whether to go in and like basically dive into the dark arts. And they're having an argument right there in front of you, and it's not even part of the dialogue tree. Like, it's not even the zoomed in classic dialogue that we see from video games that you normally see. They're having the conversation. It feels like it's in the room, in the world, but what's happening through that player choice and walking upon that is they are setting the stage for those characters without you having to like focus in and fully be like, okay, time to listen to the talkie talk. Like, they're essentially setting up where that individual is in the world, and what it does is it builds out the characters so well, and it makes it a game that really feels lived in and their characters feel real. Now, if you don't like Harry Potter, this probably isn't going to bring you over, okay? This game is really good at building characters, but they are Harry Potter archetypes, so you know what you're getting into at this point. This next little bit of gameplay happens at one of the missions later in the level, and essentially, I'm not going to tell you which if you haven't played this game. One of these two characters is your main character locked within another character. If you've read the books, if you know the movies, polyjuice potion, right? So the reason this is significant for me is because you've read these books, you know these different intricacies of polyjuice potion, of like a certain spell type. And what they've done is they built them into this game to where you are seeing the different corners of that Harry Potter universe, and not in a stilted, heavy way, but just subtly. Like, hey, you're going to do a mission and you're focused on this thing. Oh, by the way, this is where you get a polyjuice potion, or this is where you get to eat the little exploding chocolates that you throw into your mouth. Like, all of these different pieces come together to make this world feel lived in. What is the quest variant like? Good question. So, like, the quest variant on these games, I think they're pretty good. I will say that this is a game that is a collectathon, Eric. So I don't have any screenshots of the open world, but if you zoom out on that map, you essentially have a whole bunch of like little treasure chests you can get and little Merlin trials, which are essentially like environmental story, environmental puzzles, right? So you see this map, and arguably it's overdone. Like, it's too full. Like, it's one of those games that you could just like meander the countryside and just do random quests for hours and hours, and before you know it, 8 hours has gone by. So if that's something you like, that is there. In terms of like the specific quest lines, I think the side quest content is pretty good. It's normally character focused. At this point in video games, there's only so much one can do with varying like these specific quests. But I think they do a really good job, and they do it through presenting the characters. Some of the characters are really into you getting to know like beasts and taming beasts, and I'll talk about that a little bit later in this episode. But essentially, I think the side content is really good. There are some like throwaway quests, bad guy stole a dog and now you gotta go capture it. There's a little bit of that, but I'm pretty impressed with the storybook content. I also am, I'll talk about, so I'm also really impressed with how they gate the end of the game. So here's what's happened. You go through the main quest line, right? And you're basically taking on the big baddie, and here you go, I'm going to take on the big baddie, yada, yada, yada. And you beat this final boss. And then what it does is it says, hey, if you want to access essentially the last mission of the game, you have to be level 36, which is a lot higher than it takes to get through the end of the main quest. I think you have to be about level 30 to get through the main quest, but then at the end, you essentially have to play a lot of that side content to get to that final mission. And what it forces you to do is play some of that side content, and some of that side content is really good. That first screenshot that you saw earlier was basically a gal in the woods, and she's talking to herself about being nervous about meeting the centaurs. That's a whole side quest. It comes with an achievement, so if you're a Chivo hunter, you're going to go down that path, but essentially you get done with the main quest and you're like, well, I got time. Now I'm going to go hit these story quest or these side quests, and the side quests are good enough that I'm not mad about them forcing me to play them. So I think that speaks to their quality greatly. Dr. Z up in the chat, that John Wick quest. Is that the right name? Was that dude's name John Wick? Isn't that a Keanu Reeves film? Isn't that what that is? No, the John Wick quest. I know which one you're talking about. It's the one where you have to like rescue the wand from the owlry and then like go to the individual's grave because you got to rescue the family wand. It's really well done, and it's one of the first times you like leave the castle in that main quest line and you feel like the enormity of the world, and then you're like, whoa, this is so intricate and well done. So I'm a big fan of this game. I'm a huge fan of this game, if you haven't already caught my drift on there. Third screenshot that I kind of brought to show you is one that's kind of a spoiler. So if you're like worried about spoilers, maybe plug your ears for 3 seconds. In this game, they have the killing curse. And if you've read Harry Potter, you know that like the killing curse is like the thing one shall never do. And in the movies, you don't really get that same level of gravitas because it's a movie, right? Spells flying left and right, like things blowing up. It just doesn't have the same heavy feeling that the book leads. Well, when you unlock the killing curse in this game, like it's no joke. Check the screenshot out. If you're listening, I'm basically a character flying in on a broom, and I'll see a huge troll. I'm flying around. I'm a cute little broom.
Alexandra's friend.
Oh, Alexandra's friend's a big, nasty troll. Almost like a mini boss in the early game. Hit it with a few spells, cast the killing curse, and the boss drops dead right where it is. Right in the spot. It is dead and gone. And what this moment for me did was like, oh, they have really committed to what this story is. They've committed to the Hogwarts world. Like having them give you like a OP spell that can one-shot almost any enemy. I'm assuming any enemy because I took down one of the bigger like mid-tier or lower tier bosses with this spell. But like it's like they did the thing. Like they allowed you to do it. And yeah, you know, of course it's a one-shot thing for many, but I think the way that they're leading this and saying, "Hey, we're going to give you a spell that's going to one-shot an enemy," really is something a lot of game developers would stay away from just because they don't want to give you a spell that's powerful. And they did that here. So, it was cool. And getting that curse is no easy feat. So if you are trying to hang around and get that curse, it takes a little bit of time, energy, and effort. And when you finally get it, it's at the end of another side quest, which, by the way, might be the best side quest in the game. I know Eric asked about the variant of the side quest, the variability of the side quests, and I think that one's a great one too. So I'm a huge fan. Like honestly, if you are even remotely a Harry Potter fan, like this is a game for you. And I think the reason is manifold. It is a 3-star top shelf experience, and because it's wrapped in Harry Potter, it both hurts and helps this game. I think there's a lot of people that have already decided that they don't like Harry Potter. You're seeing that with a lot of Marvel content right now, like too much Marvel, I'm done, and people will just hate quit it or just quit it before they even try to experience it because it's something that they've already written off. I think this game may suffer from that come the end of the year. 3 out of how many stars? 3 out of 2 stars. This is like a 2.5 multiplier. That's 250%. Let's pour one out for old HP. I don't have a graphic for 3 out of 2 stars. Maybe I could design that. Hey, Dr. Z, do you know a graphic designer that could design a 3 out of 2 stars? Anyway, this game, I think that it will get written off by many. I'm not going to get into how some outlets didn't even cover this game, which is highly frustrating, but I feel like this game is going to get written off at the end of the year. And I'm here to tell you, as a person that loves not many open world games and normally bounces off of them because there's too much, this game does it right. And there are not a lot out there that execute at such a high level of expertise. I believe that the way they have integrated the Harry Potter lore with this open world makes this something that is magical for somebody that hits right in my demographic. When I was younger, the fifth and the sixth book were coming out when I was in high school, and I think the designers know that. This is like the perfect time to hit those 30-year-olds with about this content. And it shows. Attention to detail, top notch. One thing that I wish I would have brought a clip of is the combat. The combat is surprisingly deep. You know, you get about 20 spells, and each one of those spells affects the world differently. And it actually feels like it affects the world differently. There's a couple that cross over with the levitation, I get it. But for the most part, like they all have their own applications both in combat and in the world. So in the combat specifically, it's varied to the point where even at the end of the game, I feel like if I'm not paying attention, I can get wiped. And that is because you have to think about who you're up against and what the hard counters are for each enemy. And after looking back at the other entries in the Harry Potter video game series, there is a lot of stuff there that is very button mashy, easily consumed by the masses. And I think that if you're worried about the combat, turn it on easy, and I'm sure you'll be able to get through it. I had a tough time with the final boss, man. The boss took me like 5 tries and it was unreal. Dr. Z in the chat saying environmental puzzles. Yeah, dude, what's your rating? What's your rating on the environmental puzzles, Dr. Z? I gotta know. Because some of those, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. And some of those Merlin trials, it's like, okay, I don't really know what to do. Like, if I have to collect one more grouping of fireflies, I might not play the game ever again. But I did a lot of them, right? And I got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm full on this and I'm going to move on. Will this be a game that I come back to, like when I'm having a tough day and just want to veg? Probably. Is this a podcast game? Like listen to a podcast and play this game? Probably. Is this a game that I'm going to go out 100%? Probably not. And that's okay. Like I have come to that point in my life where I might not need a Chivo. But boy, I was chasing Chivos like a madman. Dr. Z, F the trials. I'm talking about the physics puzzles. Yeah, so the physics puzzles are good. Like I like the levitation stuff. I think the levitation of some of the items are a little clunky. Like it feels like the movement should be a little quicker. I'd really love to be able to like Leviosa some stuff and just like whip it around and really have that feel substantial. But for the most part, like the environmental puzzle solving is pretty cool. There's a good sequence early that has to do with like you trying to find these butterflies that unlock a door, and it's difficult. It was not easy. Like I was like, do I need to look up a guide on this? And then I solved it right before I looked up the guide, and I was like, yes, I'm still good at games. So that was cool. That was cool. Also, like, mad props to the zombies not being damaged unless you put fire to them. I thought that was brilliant. It's like, yeah, that totally makes sense in this world. Hard counting energy types. I think this is a must play if you are remotely a Harry Potter fan. If you like open worlds, this is worth checking out. Please go play this game. Please give this thing a good, solid try. Even if you aren't a Harry Potter fan, I think there's a lot to be said for how good this game is. Still haven't figured out how to open doors in Hogwarts with the symbols, if anyone wants to school me. Okay, that is a bugger, and the only reason I know how to do that is because I saw a TikTok about it very early. Like when I was starting to play the game, I saw a TikTok explaining those doors. So those doors, spoiler alert if you haven't played, but those doors have different symbols on them, and the symbols correspond to actual numbers, right? So it's like the first one is 0. So the first cell is 0. So that's trippy. So remember that. So it goes 0, 1, 2, all the way around. So those puzzles in the middle are like this plus this equals this. They're teaching you geometry in a Harry Potter game. Sold, sold, sold. Everybody buy. So that's it. It's geometry. You got to solve for x. Duh. Because science. Duh. Solve for x. That's how that works. Okay, on to the next game. Harry Potter, play it. Done. Next game on the list that I'd like to talk about tonight is a little game called Norco. Okay, what is Norco, you might ask? Norco is a point and click adventure game that was on the top of a lot of Game of the Year lists last year and really had me excited to play it. I have been playing this game, and there are a lot of redeeming qualities, but after coming off of Harry Potter, I'm like, I don't understand why this game is as highly rated as it is. This game is essentially, you are a person, maths, exactly, Megs, you got to be good at maths. This game is essentially, you are a, individual who went and traveled the world, and you come back to your hometown and your mother has died from cancer and a big corporation has mysteriously been involved. Let the mystery ensue. Take that one step further. The corporation has been like polluting the area, all the jobs are going away to the robots, yada yada yada. Futuristic sad point. This game has some things to say. Check out the screenshot. So what you're seeing is a couple of guys headed down the road, and you have a party of people. And I think one of the most redeeming or the most like heartwarming things about this game for me is that you're able to go into your party and have conversations with individuals that aren't you. But if you click on your own picture, you're able to dive into the memories of the individuals that you've interacted with. Some of those come out in dialogue. Some of those are you remembering how your mom or your uncle reacted 20 years ago. But as you go through the story, this little pip comes up over your character's portrait head, and you click in there and you're able to like start unraveling the mystery. And they do it in such a way where you do feel like you're constantly learning about these characters, and they all interlock in one way or another. And it's really one of the coolest parts of the game, because what it does is it's allowing you to piece by piece pull back as much as you'd like at any one time. In other words, I want to know more about this character. Oh, look, there's a couple of opportunities to dive in a little deeper. Like, and that is probably one of the cooler things that I've seen about this game. The majority of this game is dialogue, is point and click adventure vibes. It's very returning to my hometown and got the feels type environment. There is a little bit of combat. I'm currently playing on Xbox with a controller, and I would very much encourage anybody that's playing this game not to try to do the combat, with an Xbox controller, because I got my butt kicked. So what you do is you pick a party member, you then pick an enemy that you're going to attack, and then you essentially have to play a mini game where you're clicking on the nodes as the timing hits correctly, right? Easy enough. Yeah, we've seen this before, but you're moving your controller stick around as if it's a cursor. So for me to like actually hit that in the right time and also like move the cursor around just feels clunky and not all the way thought out. If it snapped to the pip, that'd be a different thing, right? If I was playing with a mouse, which truth be told, I played like the first third of this game with a mouse, it was much easier because you have a freaking mouse. You can move around the screen like a freaking wizard. With a controller, you ain't moving like a wizard. Well, unless you're HG. In that case, you're moving around the Fortnite map like a wizard. You know. So what is the big draw to this game? It's the vibe. This third and final clip from Norco is just called Vibe. And you're going to hear some music if you're listening to the audio version. You're going to see some stuff if you're watching the TV. So, I mean, you can hear it, right? So you're hearing some abandoned area. You can see that you might be able to see that honestly you're like in the middle of nowhere. There's a horn going off in the back. You can hear the dialogue coming in, ba ba boo ba 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 dee 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 dee, and they're talking back and forth. And really, it sets up a good vibe to the game. But it's a point and click adventure, and I have such a hard time with point and click adventures, guys. I do. Like I get it. Like they're cool. There's nostalgia there, but I'm playing Harry Potter and going to Norco, and it's just like a huge departure. It's like here's some action and whimsy like you'd never believe, and now you're going to a point and click adventure about a weird bird in a building. Like it just doesn't really work right for me. So with Norco, I would say if you're into point and click adventures, play it. For me, I'm going to will my way through it for the sole reason that it was on Game of the Year lists. And I know I'm silly, but I have to check it off the list. I'm already 66% of the way through it, so I gotta see it out. Would I recommend it to you? Probably not, but it's free on Game Pass, and there's a lot of people who like this game a lot. So I have to get to the end. Maybe I'll turn the corner on it, but I don't know. Take it, leave it. That's where I'm at today. So let's talk about the third game that I brought to talk about. And it is a game that took over my life on Monday night, unlike anything I have played in a very long time. This game is called Valheim. And Valheim is a game that Dr. Z and I were playing on Monday. We play on Mondays for about an hour normally. And we started playing this, and he goes, "Oh, did you know it's already 10:30?" I'm like, "Uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh, sure." We played for another hour. Like we played for a solid 2.5, 3 hours on this game, and I could not get enough. Like it is so much fun. It basically puts you in the middle of an area. You're a naked Viking, and it's like figure it out. Like you start with nothing, you have no weapons, you walk around. You've seen this in like other games like Minecraft and other things of that nature. But then you start to figure out like, oh, I can make an axe if I put this stone and this rock together. Oh, I can make a workbench and make more things. And the discoverability that you experience with your friends in this game is like freaking magic. Like Dr. Z and I were going back and forth all Monday, like, oh, did you know you could do that? Oh, did you know you could do this? Naked and Afraid. That's exactly right. This is Naked and Afraid, the game. And if you're naked and afraid, play this game. Okay, maybe that's not the best endorsement. The screenshot you're seeing here is me like being like, look, I finally have an axe. And I go into the woods, I chop down a tree. This thing says timber, hits 2 or 3 other trees and knocks them over. Guys, it's like real physics. You drop a tree and it knocks over other trees. And I know that sounds stupid to a lot of you, but the amazing part of understanding and being like, whoa, this little thing is a thing is really like the underlying draw to this game. Like the little idiosyncrasies that you experience throughout the gameplay and say, hey, have you checked this out? Have you checked this out? Is really what draws you in and keeps you. So here's a funny little clip. Hey, Dr. Z, when we were playing together a little bit earlier this week, remember when I was like, hey, I got 2 tunics. You should take one. Remember when I did that? Well, here's the clip of that. Okay. So I'm just walking around. I'm like, dude, look, I have a shirt. Oh, you need a shirt? No worries. I can give you a shirt. So I throw my shirt on the ground and you take that shirt. And now I no longer have a shirt. I gave you the shirt off my back. I'm a good friend. I'm just here to tell you that. I'm a good friend. Hey, there's that shirt that I gave you. I know, what a sucker for sure. So, I mean, he's got a shirt in the game. I don't have a shirt in the game. Maybe one day. But it's like little things like that where it's like, look, we can build a base. And Dr. Z was like the guy that builds stuff. What a stellar guy. Just a stand-up person giving people the shirt off his back. This is a cool clip that I grabbed because, you're trying to go through and knock quests off and do different accomplishments. And one of them is like, get a deer. And I'm like, oh, how are we going to get a deer? Well, you run up to a deer with a club. Guess what? That deer, he gone. So I'm like, I finally crafted a bow. Cool. Let's craft the bow. And I'm starting to like try to shoot enemies and I'm just getting rolled on with this bow. Like I can't put anything together. And then all of a sudden, Goblin comes up to camp. I'm just like, time to get clubbing. Bop, bop, bop. That thing blows up, and then I see a deer approach in the distance. And I'm like, oh, Here we go. It's my moment. Let's line this bow up. I take our shot. Boom. Full on miss. Very bad archer. And I'm like, oh, there's bow fall. Wind it back. One shot the deer from across the map. Mic drop, bow drop, things be happening. It was just like one of those magical moments like, oh my gosh, I am a hunter. My father-in-law would be so impressed with my ability to hunt. I know, it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I mean, it's just a good game. Valheim. It's now on Game Pass. If you would like to jump in and play it on Game Pass, can't recommend it enough. At first, I was like, oh, this might be a multiplayer game, and then Eric jumped in there, and Eric's like, bro, this thing is really really good, and he was playing solo, so that gives me faith that this game is good for everybody. It is still in the beta phase, so if you are waiting for that thing to go 1.0, it's not quite there. So yeah, it's a really good game. So time to head to the spreadsheets. Yes, the beautiful spreadsheets are back today and today only. And essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few games to my lists for the games played for this year. We're adding Valheim over here. We're adding Norco over on the right. These are still in progress, won't be categorized. And I'm going to take Mr. Harry Potter, also known as Hogwarts Legacy, and I think, ooh, does it go above or below Legends of Zelda Link's Awakening remastered? Mmm. Mmm. I mean, so here's the deal. Legend of Zelda, classic game, amazing game. My first time playing it, so I have a lot of affinity for it because I just played it. But essentially, I'm going to put that puppy above Link's Awakening. There goes Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy hits above Legend of Zelda, and obviously it is a play it. It is a buy it. It is a play it. It's a buy. It's a buy. So there we go. So we have our game of the year list upcoming. I'm building it as we go. And I now have Hogwarts Legacy, followed by Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Axiom Verge, Rumbleverse, Loop Hero, and Fire Emblems on the bottom of my games played this year. I know, if you're a Fire Emblem person, I get it. Like Casey on the pod is like, dude, you can't slight Fire Emblem. No, did it. Slighted him. So now comes the time where I got to pick my next game. So I will tell you what that is in the near future. I thought maybe I'd run through that and look at that list with you guys, but let's do that another time. We don't need to do that here. Let's move on to our next section, which is going to be social interaction time much? That's right, it's time for some social interaction, which means you and I, us together, our community, us right here, we are going to rank our Harry Potter movies. Is it movies or books? Movies or books? That is the real question. I have seen in the chat, Eric's like, you gotta do books. And I feel like he's right. I feel like books are the way to go here. I mean, have I seen the movies? Yeah, I've seen the movies. Do I like the movies? Yeah, I like the movies fine. But the books are where I have really, like, I grew up on them. You think movies? Oh, DBZ's going movies. Okay. Dr. Z, movies? Okay. Movies. Like, when was the last time you read one of the books? Okay. He's right. But when's the last time I watched one of the movies? Well, the last time when I watched one of the movies is a long time ago, too. But I've watched the movies since I've read the book. Okay. We're not going to make a designation between books and movies. There are also multiple movies for certain books, right? Yeah, well, okay. Deathly Hallows had 2 parts, but I was just going to count that as one. So, first things first, let's come out of the gate. The first one, the first Harry Potter entry, we'll call it that. My daughter is listening to this for the first time, and she is like smitten. She's like, this is it. I love this. And I'm like, you're too young. You don't appreciate it. Get back in bed. But the first Harry Potter sets universe. It's a little bit flimsy if you go back and like experience now. I think this is a good for you out of the gate. I would say, yeah, B tier. I don't know what these designations are. OEAPTD. I'm just going to go SABCD, whatever. So there you go. I'm with you, Dr. Z. I think the first movie is definitely B tier. It's not quite there. They're not hitting on all cylinders. Let's see what do we got here. This looks like Chamber. These are out of order. Who made this list? This is Chamber, I'm pretty sure. Chamber of Secrets is right here. One of my favorite books. It's like, oh, this thing can actually get dark. Like I'm okay with that. Like you have Slytherin, all of a sudden you're in the girls' bathroom. Woo! What a trendsetter that guy was, I guess. I don't know, breaking the rules all over the place when he was that age. But you know what? It's crazy that they were able to go that dark so in the beginning too. A tier chamber. I'm game for that. Let's do it. A tier goes the chamber. Okay, now we're rocking and rolling. Now I gotta remember which one is which. So this is Order of the Phoenix, right? Is there? This is definitely Deathly Hallows. This feels like Prison. We just did Prisoner. No, Prisoner. This is Prisoner of Azkaban. Oh boy, I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna know the difference in these. I. This is Goblet. Here we go. That's Goblet. I can't see this. Let's see if we can zoom this puppy in. And there we go. Okay. Prisoner of Azkaban. There we go. This one is next. I don't remember this movie at all. You think Prisoner is A tier? So Sirius Black is introduced and probably one of the best characters in the entirety of the series, right? And I actually liked Sirius more in the movies than I did in the books. Don't ask me why. It's just how I felt. Okay, next movie on the block, Goblet of Fire. S tier, top of the list. Goblet of Fire was the moment in the Harry Potter series where things got real. You grab that last trophy there at the end, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, it's a port key? Boom, stuff is going down, and then you lose one of the main characters? Like, S tier. Like, I'm all over that. I'm all over S tier. This looks like Deathly Hallows. We got Deathly Hallows. We got Order. Which Order of the Phoenix didn't really do it for me. Where are you guys at on Order of the Phoenix? Like Order of the Phoenix seemed like a book where they're just like, oh, I don't know, let's make them a prophet. Isn't that the one where they're at the end they're kind of like in the ministry, like looking at prophecies? Like it was all right. That had a pretty cool fight scene at the end too, didn't it? I think it did. Oh boy. See, here's my problem. I don't think I can give any of these B or C tier because they're all pretty dang good. Well, Half-Blood Prince, I can't tell you. I don't know. I think Deathly Hallows has to go at the top. I did think Deathly Hallows is A tier, only because it can. I remember at the end of the first one, we walked to the theaters and somebody was like, "Bro, they gave all the one we do not mention the wand." I'm gonna out myself. I don't understand these tiers. Yeah, neither do I. S tier. S tier is like, oh shoot, you just outed me as well. I don't know what S tier is as well. It's like the super tier. It's like S A B C D E F G. And I guess you don't have to do S, but S tier is like an old combo deal. S is not sloppy. S is not sloppy. S is like supreme. It's like from the old fighting game deal, like where you'd go through and you do the super. It is super. Got it. Got it. It is super. Yeah, I didn't know that either. You've officially outdone me. Okay, Half-Blood Prince. I don't remember these two. These could have been the same two movies for all I know. Like, Half-Blood Prince and Order of the Phoenix, like same movie essentially, right? Order of the Phoenix is like you're a superhero. Half-Blood Prince is like you're a prodigy, right? I don't know. I'm gonna put these down here because I don't know the difference between them, and that tells you a little bit about their quality. So there you go. We've done it. We have ordered the Harry Potter film/books, and in number one spot, Goblet of Fire. In A tier, we got the original, the OG, the first one. The Chamber of Secrets falls in there, and the Deathly Hallows. We go to B tier, and we have the Chamber of Secrets, and then we have Half-Blood Prince and Order of the Phoenix. And for anybody who really knows the plots of those, that's probably where it got good, right? I mean, after 5 movies, you have to figure your stuff out, right? I mean, you would think. And at that point, the author's finally getting up and going and feeling a little bit confident. So there you go. That's official because I said it was official, and obviously I haven't seen any of these movies in like 5 or 10 years. But hey, more things to come. Let's now go guess the game. We are now going to play the little game called Guess the Game, where we look at the Guess the Game side and try to figure out what the heck we're looking at. Here we go. Okay, it is a almost pixelated, looks like a pixelated the night scene, a lot of dark blues, a lot of grays, a lot of rocks. This feels like a Castlevania game to me. I don't know which one. Castlevania. Okay, Mirrors of Fate. Oh, there's a lot of them here. Castlevania. Let's dial that in a little bit more. Resurrection Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow, sure. Nope, not that one. What is this? Okay, so now we're looking at a lake, green meadow behind it. It looks like a coin falling. Is this that fishing game? Is this like super fishing? Legendary fishing is what I'm thinking. Is this legendary fishing? It is not legendary fishing. Okay, we move on. It's not Castlevania. It's not legendary fishing. We're now looking at a rainbow and a little bit of a stripe through it, looking up. Oh, and we got the clues up here. For no clue on the first one. Second one is a Metacritic score of 83. Third one is platform is the PC. Okay. Is this like an MMO type deal? PC. Huh. I have no idea. Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy Online Realm Reborn. Let's go. Nope. Swing and a miss. It's a sandbox and an action adventure game. And now I'm looking at what looks like a top-down view of a cave. This thing is all over the place. We got 2D pixel art. We got a lake with some fishing going on. We got a rainbow and then a cave underground. Is this Stardew Valley? Stardew Valley. Submit. It is not Stardew Valley. Okay. Released in 2011, and we are almost out of tries, and I am coming up short. Here we go. We have what looks like the dog from Neverending Story, and it has tusks. What is the name of the dog? You know what I'm talking about? The Neverending Story. Na, 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 na. Dr. Z comes in with Terraria. I think that is actually it. Terraria. I think you're exactly right. But there's a top down. We're going to try it. You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Terraria. Nailed it. That is all because Dr. Z came to play. He knocked it out of the park. He's like, I don't even know, but I'm going to show you how it's done. PC 2011. The game is Terraria. And boy, the last screenshot is a zoomed out look of you building your house. Yeah, Woo was right. Dr. Z, you're getting some ups from Megs in the chat. Consider us even for the shirt. No, bro. You owe me some armored pants in Valheim. That's right. I'm coming for you. I'm going to come get my pants. I'm going to come get my pants from you. When you're least expecting it, I'm gonna get your pants. Another thing that's the cool thing about Valheim, I know I'm wandering a little bit here, but the cool thing about Valheim is when you like die, you have to go and chase your body. And there was a chance that I could have stripped his body of clothing and taken that shirt back. I'll let you know how that goes in the next session. I'm coming for you, Dr. Z. So there you go. Thanks for playing. Good work on the tier list and also the Guess the Game. Dr. Z, you're the only reason I got that Guess That Game. Terraria was indeed what we were looking for. So let's head on back to our next point where we're going to talk about a little bit of a side quest is what we're going to do. And in that side quest, we are going to talk about an achievement that I hunted down.
Dude, all you do is hunt for side quests.
Dude, all you do is hunt for side quests. It's so true. That's all I do is hunt for side quests. And here's what I did in the world of Harry Potter. I was required to find and breed every beast in the game. And look what I have to show for it. This video, you're in a nice little world with a pen. The doors open up. And here it comes. The baby Niffler. What's a niffler, you ask? It's that right there. It's that little itty bitty possum looking ferret that is absolutely hideous, but we love him anyway. I took time out of my life to scour the entire map of Harry Potter to find both a male and a female of every kind of animal that was capturable, bring them back to my house, and make them make babies. It was ridiculous. I don't know if I recommend it, and I loved every second. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I just want to grab this little niffling offspring and just give it a little cuddle is what I want to do. Harry Potter's great. The side quests are great. I found myself at the end of the game going through all the achievements, which is how you know that I like the game. Is like if I'm going through the achievements to like make sure that I get the ones that I can, like I know I like the game. In fact, Dr. Z, I was gunning for you. I was like, I'm gonna get more Chivos in this game than Dr. Z. I'm here to play. Let's rock and roll. And you have an achievement that I will never get, and it's using like your superpower on every enemy type. I don't know how you got it. I don't appreciate that you got it, because now you will forever be above me in the Chivos of Hogwarts Legacy. So pour one out. Congratulations. You are the winner not only of Guess That Game, but of the true achievement hunter. So big shout out to you. Good work. The procreate? Oh, are you procreating wild beasts? My favorite part of that wild beasts quest for Harry Potter is that you meet the gal and she's like, can you believe these guys are poaching animals out here? All of these bad guys, they're capturing animals and selling them. And then like 5 quests later, they're like, hey, did you know you can breed these and sell them back? And I'm like, so am I running a magical beast puppy ring? Like, that's not good. Like, am I the bad guy? That is the real question. And I think you know the answer is definitely yes. Okay, we've made it. It's now time to do the giveaway. Let's give away, see giveaway. We're gonna do a giveaway right here, right now. More like it. Hey, paying customers only, and don't you forget it. Okay, we got 2 people in the chat. One is the wonderful Dr. Z. The other is the Megs. Appreciate you guys hanging out tonight and having fun with me. We're going to give away a prize tonight, and it's going to be to one of you two. I'm not smart enough to turn on the sub chat, but I know you're both subs, so you're going to get a pass for me. Oh, hey there. And here's what we have for a prize tonight. We have this beautiful sticker that I loved. So this is from glassstaff.com. I got it from Game On, which is the game store in the Puyallup Mall. Love the sticker. Like, I just love the orange and the blue. I think it would look good on a cooler or a water bottle. It's my perfect kind of nerd because I like it because it's subtle, yet at the same time, like, you're like nerd display or nerd cred on display. And it kind of looks like a sun. So, I mean, if you weren't a nerd, you wouldn't even know that that's a D12 or whatever it is. D20, I think it is. I love things from the Puyallup Mall. And the other ones are 2 things. One is going to be a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet card pack. Okay. I don't know much about the Pokemon. I don't even know what a chase card would be, but you're going to learn for this card right here. So this is a standard pack. I don't know. I bought 2 of them and one is sitting on my shelf right there. I'm going to hold on to it because I'm a hoarder of things and I have it, but also you're going to get one too. And lastly, and probably my most favorite, is this game called Pooh. The card game revised. It's called Pooh. It's a card game called Pooh. It seems fun. It's by Wild Thing. Let me read it to you. It's been a tough day in the monkey cage, and something in the food tonight wasn't quite right. In Monkey World, there's only one thing that can be done about it: fling Pooh. It doesn't matter who started it, It didn't matter who started it, but at the end you are gonna finish it. So here you go. It's a card game about flinging poo at your fellow monkeys. I know, it's an amazing thing. Get ready. Okay, so what do we have? We have Sweet Sticker, we have Pokemon card pack, and the poo game, which I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping nobody was in the chat so then I could keep this and play it, but instead we're gonna send it to one of our loyal viewers. So there you go. That's what's being given away. Megan, Dr. Z, you're both in this game. If there's anybody else out there, please hop in the chat, say what's up, and you could potentially be in the running for this wonderful game. Let's see, what can I find? I need something to flip. We're gonna do a little game called Heads and Tails, and I do not have a coin. Oh, but I do have the internet. Look at me, what an idiot! What an idiot. Okay, Dr. Z or Megs, who you want, heads or tails? First one to chime in gets to choose. Heads and tails, coin flip. Here we go. Are you heads or are you tails? It's the virtual coin flip simulator. Dun, 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 dun. By Etsy. Get out of here, by Etsy. What is that? I don't need an Etsy store to flip a coin. Man, they got the market cut. Okay, Megan takes tails. Okay, perfect. Here we go. Let's do it. Okay. I think I got this set up right. Let's see. Let's make sure we get my fat face out of the feed too, so you can see what's going on. Wouldn't want to cheat on anybody, of course. There we go. Okay, here we go. Meg's tails, Dr. Z's heads, and the coins flipping. Ooh, tails it is. Megan the Mighty, you are the winner. Congratulations. You have won these 3 items. I am not going to mail them to you, but I will bring them to you when I see you on Sunday. So here you go. You have won the wonderful sticker, the absolutely amazing Pokemon cards, and of course, my personal favorite, the Poo game. So now you can play the Poo game with friends. Take it to Easter. Winner, chicken dinner. You are the winner for certain. So, yeah, congratulations, Dr. Z. Thanks for being with us as always. Appreciate you being here, man. I'm going to continue to harass you until we can play more Valheim. Dr. Z, like, you are the man. Truly appreciate you hanging out tonight. Phil was going to be on. We planned for him to be on, and then he had something come up, which kind of re-racked the schedule. But we pushed forward anyway, and he'll be back in no time. I can guarantee it. Until then, guys, like, I don't know what else has been going on. E3 was canceled. We started with that. There's a Zelda edition Switch out there. I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but it's real pretty, and the people in my office are losing their mind. So if you need a new Switch, it might be time for a hardware revisit. I don't know. What are you going to do? Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. Tomorrow, Eric is going to be around here doing some Pokemans, talking about cards, making things happen. He's going to take his Friday night spot. Just don't make me play the Poo game. You must play the Poo game. Poo game is just life. You know what I mean? You got to make money to get the food to eventually do the thing, and that is the game of life. So once you stop playing the Poo game, like you're not on a good trajectory. That's all I'll say. Like nothing can good from not being regular. So that said, take your Metamucil, drink lots of water, eat your fiber. Thanks for hanging out with the Underpowered team forever and for always. Appreciate you being here on this Thursday night with the Backlog Battler. And we'll be back in a couple weeks talking about more games, doing more things. Until then, shout out, be good to one another, be good to yourselves. And of course, if you need a little mental break, just take your opportunity to play some video games. It's good for the soul. It's good for your brain. I'm not a scientist. Don't quote me. Follow Underpowered if you're not already. Kisses, hugs, and belly rubs, y'all. Good night.